I want to give you a sneak preview into a webinar that I'm actually going to be presenting at a remodeling conference all about social media best practices. So if you're in the design build space, whether it's remodeling or landscaping or anybody that's in the home service improvement side of things where you're really taking something and making it more aesthetically pleasing for homeowners, you're going to want to watch this, especially if social media can sometimes feel confusing or frustrating for you. And at the end of this video, make sure you stick around because the example, because I'm using one client's examples throughout the whole thing, they're doing so well. They said they have about 700 grand worth of work in the pipeline since we launched this just last month. And I want to tell you exactly why I believe it's working so well for them. Let's jump in. So much like you guys out there watching, I have gone to events where the people that come to the event, whether it's a trade show or it's a networking event, they just don't see the value of what we do. And it feels like what we were having to do at these shows is pitch our value and explain to people, hey, this is why we're even worth talking to. And sometimes as a remodeler or a landscaper, that's how social media can feel, where you put out something that you feel looks really nice and your audience and community simply just doesn't see that as the case. And unfortunately, it's a combination of one, it's probably not the right thing to be putting out at the right place in the right time. And two, some of that stuff just happens. And because we're not doing the right sort of targeting on social media, now we're actually appealing to the wrong audience and it can feel really rejecting as a whole. So what we're going to be talking about today is exactly how to make sure that your social media works really well, and it's all about highlighting the type of work that you do and then promoting it to the right audience around your area, so you're actually going from people not really knowing that you exist to going, oh wow, I really actually want to work with you and only you. And that's the power of social media if we get it right. The first thing I want to show you, this is a screenshot from West Elm's Instagram account. And the reason I'm showing this is West Elm, which is a really nice furniture company, a lot of you that are watching this is where your clients go and buy furniture from. All right. And if their Instagram account looks a certain way, you want to align with it. We're not trying to guess what your prospects are really into as far as design and aesthetics. Go to the products that they're already buying and look at what they're doing and go, okay, there's probably a reason that these really large companies are doing this the right or this individual way, and let's go ahead and replicate them. So the first thought here that we want to go through is don't reinvent the wheel when it comes to social media. Look at what your clients and prospects are actually like, who they're following on social media as far as brands go, companies go, products go, and actually see how they're showing off what they do. Because in this case, you know, West Elm, they sell furniture. They don't sell remodeling services, but they don't just show a vanity by itself in a factory or a table and chairs by itself. They're actually showing how it's going to look in your home. And we want to make sure that we are giving off the same vibe when we're trying to sell remodeling or landscaping or any other, you know, design construction work to our prospects. Principle number one here of how to make social media good: don't reinvent the wheel. Literally just look and follow what the accounts that your ideal clients are already following on social media. So when it comes to finding who do we actually look at, go for the nice interior designers, the furniture companies. Pretty much look at the types of projects that you want to be doing more of. See who's already posting that on social media. One of the easiest places to look, again, is the furniture companies, because they do a very good job of painting the picture and telling the story of what it truly looks like to work with you. Now, on the side of photos and media, when we're not wanting to reinvent the wheel, we want to make sure that we're capturing high-end, professionally shot photos of our work. If you notice, this is actually the client that I'm talking about. This is a remodeling client here that we went out and did some photos and videos, and we run all their marketing. They're the ones that are doing really well right now as far as like all the leads coming in for this stuff. If you notice on what West Elm is doing versus what we shot, they're very similar. It's the vanity, it's the head-on shot. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We are really just making sure that we are aligning with people, what their expectations are already. Now, what most construction, remodeling, landscaping companies do is this is the type of stuff that is being posted on social media where it's like I'm 90% of the way there post. And unfortunately, the big problem here is we are now forcing our prospect to guess what their life is supposed to look like with this new bathroom, right? It's not finished. It doesn't have all like the cool finesse to it that people are really buying when they look at the final products of nice staged, professionally shot photos. But this is the only thing that gets posted on social media. So now it doesn't look like we have this beautiful final project. It just looks like we got something close enough. And yeah, people probably assume that they know what the end results can look like. But in reality, this is not what your client is buying. So we want to make sure that we're only really showing the final projects. And the final projects are nicely staged. If you're outdoors on landscaping, it's cleaned. It's not a bunch of mud. Like, show what people are actually buying the end result of, not the let's get things to the 90% of the project, because otherwise it looks very unprofessional. And for 100 to 150 grand, whatever it is that your price points are, they don't want to buy unprofessional. So number 2 is, once we know to just align with what the brands that our clients are already watching, let's go ahead and make sure that we're showing off our work. Having iPhone photos is okay, but if we're really trying to show off something very expensive, where people are looking at this as like, wow, this is a big investment, we want to give it the right emphasis or like the right flair, because we it's very hard if we're trying to sell a Ferrari with just bad photos and saying, hey, I know this thing is really expensive and really nice, but like, trust us, looks way better in person. We want to make sure that we are getting a professional photographer out to your projects, and it's staged nice and it has the right lighting. And then that way people can really see, wow, this thing truly is beautiful, because these are the types of photos and images that do really well on social media. The big thing here that we don't want to forget about is video. HGTV is like the king here when it comes to home improvement project video and media. All right, your clients are watching them. Chip and Joanna Gaines have an entire network now because they did really well on HGTV. So if it works well for them and your clients are already watching the shows like that, and 2022, 82% of all internet traffic was video consumption, we don't want to get left behind. We want to hop on board as well. So we actually want to show off the videos of the projects that we're doing. So we have the photos of the final projects, but we also want to do is have the video because it shows the why and the story behind the actual project itself. So instead of just going out there with a phone and saying, all right, let's capture some stuff and point out what we did, we want to take like that 48-minute HGTV style storytelling video and shorten it down to a 3 to a 4.5 minute video that follows that same storyline, because it works really well. But now you're doing that for each of your projects, where you're showing off a little bit of the client and then how you solve their problem, and the client coming back in saying how excited they are and how great it is to have this bathroom. We want to make sure that we are creating those mini HGTV style videos that show off the backstory and show off what it looks like to truly work with you. And then from there, you're able to actually take this media and use it on social. This bathroom here, because of this tile, it works really well because it is visually, it stands out. It is not bland. It's not boring. When you're scrolling on social, this lime green tile is right there. So you want to actually use this for social media. It's that easy. I've worked with clients where they have all these beautifully shot photos that just sit in Dropbox or in a folder on their computer. Nowhere are people able to see it unless they actually reach out to that client. So if you have work that speaks for itself and you have photos that are amazing, go ahead and make sure that you are feeding that into social media, because social media is built for this exact thing. Now, the next piece, and so far we've only talked about images on social, is videos versus images. And they actually serve different purposes, but we want both. Videos are right now really, really, really geared towards growth on Instagram and Facebook, because those platforms are pushing video very heavily. These videos are meant to be quick, fun, engaging, and these platforms realize this is what keeps people engaged and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So when you have nicely done videos of your projects in this format, Facebook, Instagram, they will promote your account more and more to people that they think likes it, which will draw people back to your account. So it's actually a really good growth engine for your account. Images, on the other end, images act like a really good portfolio for your work. All right, so when somebody comes onto your account and they're able to see the images and scroll through your projects, now they're able to see more of what you're able to do. So videos bring people in, images get people to stay and actually see your work. So you want both, but they serve two different purposes. Now, when it comes to running social media ads, one of the most common things I hear from remodeling, landscaping companies in the design construction space is that they say it doesn't work. I boosted some posts on Facebook. I spent $100 and I got nothing from it. I got a bunch of likes, but I got nothing from it as far as leads or inquiries. And the big thing here is, first off, there's a difference between boosting a post, the way that most people do it, and actually running a social media ad campaign. Boosting a post is once a post goes out live on your social media, there's a button that you can push and spend some money and say, hey, I want to show this to more people. Most of the time that this is done, it's done incorrectly. It's not actually run to a targeted audience. It's kind of just run to whoever likes the Facebook page, and half the time, most other contractors are the ones that like your Facebook page, so they're not ever going to buy from you. Now, a more specific Facebook campaign that is set up strategically, this is now focused on going after the right type of clientele as far as age-wise, gender-wise, location-wise, and first spearheading everything and making sure that we have a sniper rifle approach versus let's just hope that anybody with a pulse sees our stuff. And then once we know exactly who we're going after, we want to make sure that what we're saying and what we're showing in the ad is very much like a commercial. Like, they don't show TV commercials where they're just saying, hey, let me just spend a 5-minute segment on walking through this new Ford F-150. They have it dialed in on a whole formula of, let me show you the pieces of the F-150 that make you want to buy this thing. And that's all trial and error that they have figured out. But we want to be able to do the same thing on our social media where we're not just winging it and boosting a post that we think looks good. We actually have a very specific targeted ad that's meant to hit the right type of client at the right place and the right time with the right message and the right visuals. And when we do that correctly, people see that and go, wow, this ad speaks directly to me. Now you got my attention. Let's talk. So now that we've gone through, do we do images versus video, and then video boosting versus video ads? How do we connect all the dots? And one of the bigger issues I also see is that a lot of people just, when they boost the post or they run ads or that kind of stuff, there's no real rhyme or reason of why they're doing it. They're just hoping and spraying and praying and putting some money behind it or putting some stuff out there and just seeing what happens. We actually want to make sure that we are connecting the dots of the social media that we're putting out. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a page on the website that is specifically geared towards this individual project. So in this case, we just called it the green tile bathroom. But what happens is every time we put out a post on Instagram or Facebook for free, or we're running an ad, or we're putting out a video, or whatever it is, we're always trying to guide people back to this individual page to learn more about the full project, which would include more of the backstory of why they're getting it done, some of the key features and elements, some of the budgeting, the timelines, the process, the full, 4-minute mini HGTV style video, the portfolio of the whole thing. So essentially, anything that anybody wants to know about that project is put on this page in a very strategic way. And we're actually just using social media to consistently remind people, hey, if you want to learn more, go back to this page. And now they're on your website and they're able to root more around what do you do, what's your value, see your the rest of your portfolio, see reviews. And it's all because we use social media very strategically to push people back to that individual page, which we call as a featured project page. So at the heart of all this, these featured project pages, which are really just in a very simple way to say it, they're really well done, story-focused project walkthrough pages that highlight everything that a prospect who is searching for, what can I have done in my house? Who do I want to work with? It highlights all those different pieces and builds trust with the homeowners that are searching. We want to push everything back to them. So from organic social, from a paid social media, SEO, it's really good for that as well. So people in Google can find this stuff. Everything is gearing towards, hey, if you want to learn more about what we can do in your home, go look at our work, because that will tell you everything about this company in a nutshell. So one of the things that we haven't even talked about yet is this physical brochure. The reason that this is also here is you're already going out, you're getting these nice photos, you're getting these nice videos, you're putting all this time and energy and effort into getting these individual pages for each project that you do found on social media. You're putting some money behind it, you're getting found in Google. Send this out to your past customers. Create a really nice mini magazine brochure that now you have this reason to stay top of mind with past customers. A lot of people in this design build space, because they think, well, they already spent 200 grand on a kitchen, and I know they're going to want to redo their bathroom at some point, but maybe down the line, they'll call me when they're ready. Don't do that. Just stay top of mind. Send out these mini bifold brochures with the projects, and it just says like, hey, check out a little bit of this project. If you want to learn more, scan this QR code, go back to our website, and guess what? They're now seeing the full scope of this project. So again, now we're finding new people to get a hold of, but we're also tapping back into past customers to consistently remind them, hey, don't forget about us. All right, here's some of the cool projects that we're still doing around the area. And what this will do is now give your past customers an excuse to re-engage with your business, because we know the best customers that we have are our past customers and referrals, because they already know, like, and trust us. So at the beginning of the video, I talked about, hey, I'm going to explain why this campaign is doing so well so quickly. And it really comes down to a few factors. But the first one is we did a full brand overhaul. We didn't just step in and do some social media for them. It was a whole website redo. Make sure that the website and all the branding components align with their ideal clientele. So that was the first thing. They have the perfect foundation from a brand and online presence perspective to make this work. The second thing here is the owners of this company are like their own biggest champions. So they are so stoked on the videos, the websites, the socials, all the things that we're doing for them, but they don't just hide it and go, okay, I'm out, like, let me know when it starts to work. When they're out meeting people, whether it's prospects or they're just, hanging out with people in the neighborhood, and somebody in the neighborhood says, oh yeah, I'm thinking about redoing my bathroom. They go, actually, I'm a remodeling company. Let me send you a cool video of a project that we just did. Check it out. So what they're doing is they're not just waiting for the marketing to do its thing. They're actually now also sending this out to people proactively when it gets brought up in conversation. And now what people are doing is they're able to associate this person who's in my neighborhood that I know with this really cool project that they're showing me. That makes sense. Let's continue the conversation. So they're also proactively pushing this themselves. And the last piece here is the actual project itself is very visually appealing. It stands out on social media. This green tile pops. The actual videos that we produce with this client, it's a younger clientele. It's, they're in their 30s, and she's like, I'm a photographer. I have a great eye for design, and these are the problems I was dealing with, and this is how they help. So the actual project itself with the story around it does very well for their demographic, because they are a younger set of owners for this company. They appeal to a younger audience, and it works out really well versus, showing two people in their late 70s that have grab bars in the bathroom and then trying to promote that to people in their 30s. So between having the holistic brand foundation laid really well, with the owners that are their biggest champions, with the actual projects that align with who their clients or their prospects are, between those three things, that is why they already have, in like the first month of this stuff going live, like 700 grand in their pipeline from this stuff, which is like absolutely mind-blowing this quickly. If you want to see more of like the examples I'm giving you, some of the stuff you can find online, but like some of it, unless you live here in Charlotte where like these ads are running, you'll never see. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of the resources here in the actual description so you can check them out and see what we're talking about. So remember, this is a sneak preview of what I'm going to be presenting at a remodeling conference coming up. So if you liked it, let me know. Also, let me know what you would change or what you would add to it, because I'm trying to make sure that I blow them away at this conference. So whatever you got, put it down below. Thank you very much.